All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to make a video here. I made this video yesterday. It ended up being like an hour and 7 minutes long, but I decided that I could condense the information and make it better. This often happens to me in the grand scheme of things. This video is going to be about rotations, weapon progression that I like to do personally, but just the concept behind your weapon progression in general, and where I like to go to level and why. All right, so I made a rotations guide for Paladin, Classic World of Warcraft back in the day. You can search for it, but it talks about how we're using, like, rank 3 Seal of Righteousness, and we're double judging rank 3 Seal of Righteousness, and we're using, like, 2 rank 1 consecrations before we're sitting on our hands and letting spirit regeneration happen. The good news is that that rotation does not exist anymore because all the ranks of Seal of Righteousness have the same spell power ratio behind them, so we don't have to use that more complicated rotation anymore. These days, we're using effectively an incredibly dirt simple rotation, but behind the dirt simple rotation is a fair bit of nuance. So there's multiple rotations, and it really depends on what gear you're wearing, but I'll cover the different gears. So basically, there's 2 different gearings for your Paladin, and then there's 2 different specs for your Paladin while you are leveling. And it suggested that you can use whatever. You can go the entire game with any of them, but I like to do Stamina Spirit until level 41, and then at level 41 you have to decide if you're going, like, of the Eagle gear and you're doing the AoE tanking, or you're doing what else. But let's just start with the rotations, and then we'll move into the nuances of how what talents are you using, and what gear are you wearing, and how up to date your gear affects this. Right? We'll move into the nuance, but I don't want to bury the lead here. All right, so damn, I adjusted this, didn't I? Is that good? Yeah, okay, that's good. All right, so typically you have a two-handed rotation and you have a one-handed rotation. Your two-handed rotation is going to be to seal, max rank seal the Crusader, run up to the mob, judge it into the mob, throw down a max rank consecration, and then let spirit regeneration take the wheel. Like, literally, like that's it. Like, that is the rotation. But it's where the nuances happen. So we're judging, we're resealing immediately. You can even make that a macro if you want to. I don't like to for PvP purposes, but that's just me. We put down a max rate consecration, and we're literally just sitting on our hands and letting spirit regeneration happen. Like, that's it. With this rotation, it doesn't matter if you're using a fast two-handed weapon or a slow two-handed weapon. We're not. There's no spell power ratio behind our gear, so the speed of the weapon really doesn't matter. Some of the nuances are when this mana bar gets full, we want to judge, like, into the mob, like, no matter what is happening. You can pull the mobs into other mobs if you want to. So judge, get down the seal, and then let spirit regeneration happen. There's a lot of little nuances and a lot of little rules. The reason why the nuances are there is because this mob might die slower, he might die faster, all the block, dodge, and parry, and all the RNG behind the mob. What the hell is that lag? You can pull one mob into the other mob, not that big of a deal. Here, I'm not deep holy, so we're going to use our free crit heal because I'm a holy shock paladin. But the whole battle plan in general is to try to front load your spells. And then, because of the 5-second rule is with spirit regeneration, right? Front load your spells into the mob, and then just sit on your spirit regeneration for as long as humanly possible. And this, of course, is the best way to do it. If your seal is about to fall off, like it is, like right now, okay? Like, let's say this mob was still healthy. I'm going to go simulate it with this mob over here. So I'm going to judge into the mob. I'm going to reseal. I'm going to do a consecration. But then I'm going to stop attacking the mob for a little bit and just talk, right? And we're going to simulate what happens if this... Oh, stop attacking. What the hell? If this mob is still healthy when this seal is about to fall off. Okay, I'll start attacking again. Judging the seal into the mob is usually a mistake. God damn it, Witch Fury. What the fuck? I'm trying to make a point here, bro. The reason why it is a mistake, typically a mistake, to judge Seal of Righteousness into the mob to finish it off, if it still has a bunch of health, is because you're interrupting the 5-second rule. So the total cost of what you're proposing to do is this, okay? I have to pay the mana cost for the judgment, but on top, which is, of course, going to be 60 mana, but on top of that, I'm going to lose like 5 seconds of spirit regeneration. And at my current level, with my current stamina spirit gear, this Paladin's in pure stamina spirit gear, if it wasn't obvious from how quickly the mana is regenerating, I'm getting about 25 mana a second from spirit regeneration. So losing 5 seconds of that from judging it into the mob is going to cost me 125 mana. So I could judge the seal into the mob for like 100 damage, but the total mana cost of that action is going to be like 170, 180 mana. So I spent 180 mana to do 100 damage to the mob. That is absolutely not worth it. I'm better off just auto-attacking it to death with my basic bitch white attacks, almost without exception. The only exception to this, of course, is if this mana bar gets back to full. Right? If the mana bar gets back to full, then we're just wasting mana. So like right here's a perfect example. The mana bar is full. We're going to judge. We're going to reseal. Right? Easy. Like that is basically part of the nuance there. So I'm going to take my time to run over here. I'm going to start a heal because by the time the heal is done, the mana bar is going to be full. Boom. And we've got plenty of seal. Our judgment is back up. Awesome stuff. Okay. Judge, hit, judge, consecrate. And this is it. This is just the rotation. Okay. Weapons that are really good for it, we'll talk about that when we talk about weapon progression, but proc on hit weapons are amazing for any Seal of Righteousness build, and Seal of Command build as well, believe it or not. The reason for this is Seal of Righteousness will have a ×2 proc of these damn Shadow Bolts on Witch Fairy. Yeah, like there it goes right there, speak of the devil, right? Mana bar is not back to full. We are not judging the seal. We're just going to let it fall off. The time it takes to run over this mob, we should have full mana again. Okay, cool. Yeah, so there's lots of little nuances you can do, right? Like I can pull this mob into the other mob and get into position, blah, 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 blah. But this is basically just your two-handed rotation. And you can use this two-handed rotation pretty much all the way to 60, like no problem whatsoever. Okay, so that covers two-handers. If you're a Seal of Command Paladin, exact same rules apply. If you're a Seal of Command Paladin with Consecration, exact same rules apply. Like no big deal whatsoever. Just front load your spells and let your Spirit Regeneration do its damn thing. Holy crud. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk. The other rotation is the one-handed rotation. There are two versions of the one-handed rotation. I can show this one really fast. So we'll whip out our knightly longsword. When you're in the earlier levels of the game, like pre-level 41, you have a certain rotation. And that rotation is to pretty much judge Crusader, right? So we seal Crusader. The bad thing here, of course, is that I literally get a new rank of Seal the Crusader next level. So this is going to look bad, right? But next level, it would look significantly better. But yeah, you basically just front load. Yeah, it's the exact same rotation except you're judging Seal the Crusader. Mana bar will get to full, so we'll judge it, and then you reseal Crusader and finish off the mob with Crusader. This is so we have Crusader active for when we're killing the next mob. Yeah, that was terrible, and it's terrible because I'm using a knightly longsword. It's super out of date right now. You'd want to use like a different weapon if possible. Blah 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 blah. But we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, judge Seal the Crusader, throw down 1 max rank of Consecration, and then just sit on Spirit Regeneration. If this mana bar ever gets back to full, judge into the mob. It is what it is. All right, so we'll finish off this mob, and I'll talk about the final. Okay, no, there's 2 more rotations. My bad. Okay, yeah, judge, reseal Crusader, finish off the mob with Crusader. I'll put in that fat heal really fast. Might as well. Thank you for all the spell pushback, you dingus. Okay, cool. All right, final rotation. So this is the rotation. Nope. We got 4 rotations. We've covered 2. Damn it. All right, so the rotation I'm going to show you now is the the post level 41 rotation. So at level 41, you're going to have both Consecration, and you're going to have Blessing of Sanctuary, and your rotation is going to depend entirely upon... one second. There we go. No? Yes? All right, there we go. Your rotation is going to depend entirely upon what gear you're using. So at level 41, you have to make a decision on your Paladin. Are you going Stamina Spirit gear for the rest of the game, or are you going Stamina Intellect gear for the rest of the game? If you're going Stamina Intellect Plate Mail gear, then you're going to be an AoEing Paladin. If you're going Stamina Spirit gear, you're either going to be a single target, two-handed Paladin, either of the Deep Ret variety or of the Deep Prot variety. If you are in both cases, AoE farming is open to you, but it looks slightly different. Okay, and you can test it out and see if it fits you or not. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull 3 mobs and kill them, but it's going to look ugly as hell. And the reason it's going to look ugly as hell is because this Paladin does not have enough gold to respec. I gave all my gold away in Era when Classic Fresh dropped. Then I discovered I had to make a million videos, but whatever. And this guy was testing out Holy Shock. It's actually pretty good. Holy Shock is legitimately pretty good. But I'm missing Readout, and I'm missing Blessing of Sanctuary, and of course I'm level 41, so I should be respecking. If I'm tanking 3 mobs and I have Readout, it's going to feel damage-wise like I'm tanking 1 mob. Readout will effectively neutralize the incoming damage of about 2/3. When it neutralizes the damage of basically 1 mob when you're fighting 3 mobs. Blessing of Sanctuary will do the exact same thing, and these 2 things in combo with each other will make it feel like when you're fighting 3 mobs, you're taking damage from like 1.5 mob, like 1 to 1.5 mobs, depending on RNG. So because I don't have that, pulling 3 mobs, I'm going to get punched in the dick quite a bit. I'm going to have to use my crit heal. I'm going to have to use my Holy Shock. I'm going to have to pay attention and actually do this right. So this is going to look ugly, but when you actually properly talent it, it's a beautiful thing. So what I want to show here is that the Stamina Spirit gear can pull 3 mobs and AoE them down very, very well. And they can definitely pull and kill 2 mobs super, super well. If you're the Stamina Intellect Paladin, you're doing the exact same thing that I'm about to do here, except you're, pulling an extra mob because you're a Stamina Intellect Paladin. So you're trying to pull 4 mobs. In Hardcore, I would reduce that number by 1 just to be super safe. So in Hardcore, I would be pulling 2 mobs for a Stamina Spirit Paladin, and I'd be pulling 3 mobs for a Stamina Intellect Paladin. If the mobs are noticeably lower level than you, if they're like, 2 levels lower than you, or green mobs, then you can +1 to all that. But let's just showcase it really fast here. You can also use rank 1 Consecration to help pull the mobs. When I like to pull the mobs, I like to get it set up. So we're going to body pull this guy. Okay, cool. We're going to throw down a rank 1 Consecration. We are going to seal our Wisdom. We're going to judge to help pull this guy. We're going to reseal Wisdom. And you do use Knightly Longsword. A Knightly Longsword or a Flurry Axe. It's just BIS for the mana regeneration. And you're going to be doing consecrations every 9 seconds. So you'll see that I'm holding for like a second on my consecrations. That's to get an extra spirit tick in. If I don't do that, I'll only get like 1 spirit point of spirit regeneration. All right, so we got to use our big fat crit heal here, or we're going to die, and this video is going to be terrible. Consecration is back. We're going to do it immediately. I'm going to do my Holy Shock just to front load this stuff. Damn, I forgot to judge the seal. That's a big mistake. When your seal is about to run out on the mob that you're mana leeching from, you should tab over and just judge it into a different mob. So this is going to look ugly just because of how much damage I'm taking. But again, if I'm properly spec'd, it's not that big of a problem. Okay, so you'll notice there's 2 mobs on me now. This is more close to what it's actually going to look like. I want to see that Judgment of Wisdom get to 0. Okay, cool. Judge it into the target. Reseal. Yeah. So I'll pull 2 mobs so you can see what the mana regeneration is actually supposed to look like there, as opposed to, me not being skilled properly. But trust me, if you're doing the AoE farming with Stamina Spirit gear, it's It's not as good as the stamina intellect gear, but you're not going to notice. Like, it's within 5% of efficiency to the stamina intellect gear, which is awesome. Yeah, okay, back to full. I'll pull 2 mobs this time so you can actually see a closer representation of what it would actually look like. But just know that a properly built Paladin would even take less damage than what we're about to see here. Okay, cool. And we just want to watch what the spirit regeneration or the mana regeneration looks like. So that's what I'm going to primarily focus on. I'm not going to miss the judgment of the Seal of Wisdom or anything like that. I'll put down another consecration. Wait for our, yep, so I'm looking down here. I'm watching the seal up here. Okay, it's done. Wait a second. Consecrate again. Now I'm looking, oh, crap. I just told myself I wasn't going to fuck that up. Oh, well, whatever. Why me? Why? Okay, judge, reseal. Let's get a holy light in here because I'm not a damn prop paladin. All right, cool. Consecrate again. I'm screwing this up really bad. But yeah, no, the stamina spirit gear doesn't really give a shit. The other awesome thing is that if you do need to drink for whatever reason and you have some mage water on you, holy crap, does your mana bar come back so quickly. It's actually ridiculous. But you can see here, I'm just going to let the spirit regenerate. Yeah, I'm just going to auto attack him to death, and voila, our mana is all the way back. I'll use my free crit heal, which is all I got going on here with the holy, and boom. So you can see that it's actually insanely mana efficient, even on the stamina spirit gear for the AoE farming. But that's what your AoE farming rotation is going to look like, and you're going to be doing that at level 41 and beyond. All right, cool. We cool with that? Sweet. So now I want to showcase the AFK and chill build. I'm trying to think about what character I should go showcase that on. I guess I'll showcase it here because it would take too long on my hardcore paladin. That's going to take forever to die. So this is going to look ugly. What I'm about to do is going to look disgusting. Like really, really bad. Like, what the hell are you talking about, Pally time? But what you want to do is you want to get your hands on a blue weapon, preferably like 1.8 speed or lower, like a reasonably fast blue weapon. You know, all you care about is the DPS from the blue one-handed weapon. And I made a video on this. This is the Netflix and chill build. You're going to be using stamina spirit gear, preferably. You can also use stamina intellect gear. It's fine. You'll just have to drink like once every 10 mob kills or something stupid like that. But you're going to be sealing Blessing of Light. Holy crap, this Blessing of Might is out of date. What the balls? This is going to look ugly because we're just doing this with a Knightly Longsword. That is the wrong seal, my friend. But you judge Seal of Light into the target, and then you use Seal of Crusader. You don't gain any DPS increase from the 40% increased attack speed, but you do gain it from a lot of the attack power. Again, I gain a new rank of this level. The Seal of Crusader literally next level, so this is going to be absolutely disgusting. You'll notice the Knightly Longsword is out of date. The Seal of the Crusader is out of date. The Blessing of Might is out of date. I probably get a new one next level. But you can see that our mob kills are still reasonably fast. This mob died in about 35 seconds, which is not that great, right? But you can see how it'll be under 30-second mob kills when you do the Netflix and chill version. It's impossible for you to die. You can literally just AFK. There's some other notable advantages to it in that... One sec, I need to blow my nose. That's really bothersome. Okay, let me take a drink. Yeah, this guy is taking forever to kill because he's level 41. Mana bar is back to full. Reseal, not that big of a deal. Flemmy! Alright, cool. Where was I? Right, okay, so the really good things about this. Your kill speeds will be about 20% slower than any other kill speed that you can muster in Classic WoW. But they will be insanely safe because it's impossible for you to lose the 1v1 versus a mob It gives you really good DC protection while you're leveling. This is how I'm going to level to 60. All right, I'm literally going to Netflix and chill a level to 60 on my classic World of Warcraft Paladin because I have internet issues and internet concerns. Right. Sometimes the internet will lag in such a way that I'm still in the game and I'm still fighting, but I lose control of like visual control of my character for like 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds sometimes. And very, very rare with the new servers in Microsoft, but back in the day with Blizzard, holy crap. So if I spam heal, my character will be healing himself, but I have no idea what the combat situation looks like. But this is just awesome even under those circumstances because I'll never lose the 1v1 against a mob ever, like under any circumstances. It gives you really good DC protection, like hard DC protection. Like literally, oh shit, my character logged out. I have to log back into Blizzard. Go, 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 go. The reason for this is because you're going to be basically in plate mail gear with a shield. It's literally going to take the mob like 60 seconds plus in order to kill you. When the DC did happen, you're basically going to be full life from Judgment of Light. I think your character will continue attacking and for about 10 seconds until the server figures out that you're not there anymore. What else is there to say about it? It's also very common that when the DC did happen, the mob will be like, 2/3 life left or something like that, while you're like full life. And all the reflect damage from your Paladin, even if it takes you like 2 minutes to log back in, which would be insane, you can often just finish off the mob purely due to reflect damage. This is also super the case if you're using Blessing of Sanctuary, right? Read out Blessing of Sanctuary, shield, full plate mail, shield spike. Literally going to take so long for the mob to kill you that they might even, there's a good chance they die in the process. Or you have like, a minute and a half to log, or damn near 2 minutes to log back in. Super sick, super insane for DC protection purposes. Why does Netflix and chill work? And why do you want a fast one-handed weapon? Well, it works for a number of reasons. The first reason that it works is Seal of Light. Seal of Light has a 4-second PPM, like the actual seal itself, so it procs once every 4 seconds of swing time. So if you had a 4-second swing timing weapon, it would have a 100% proc chance. If you had a 2.0 swing time weapon, it would have a 50% chance to proc per hit. However, the Judgment of Seal of Light has a 50% chance to proc regardless of weapon speed. So when we run over with our Knightly Longsword, which is like the fastest, other than Flurry Axe, is the fastest one-handed weapon we can get our hands on in the game, and we use Seal the Crusader, our Flurry Axe suddenly has a damn near a 1.0 sec weapon speed, right? So you're going to be getting back like a terrifying amount of HPS, which is great. The other reason why it works spectacularly is you're attacking the mob so quickly that you'll get a lot of parry procs on the mob. The mob will parry a bunch of your attacks, but all that does is it causes the mob to attack you faster, and that's a good thing because you're not really taking any damage, but more importantly, it allows readout and shield spike and retribution aura and Blessing of Sanctuary, all of your reflect damage to do its job even better. So when you're fighting like cats, for example, are the ideal mob to grind on with the Netflix and chill, like really fast attacking mobs. Because you have a ton of reflect damage that you want to use into them. So parry hasting the shit out of the mob actually benefits you. The Seal of Light is giving you an insane amount of health back. The Stamina Spirit gear is keeping your mana topped off for whatever reason in case you desperately need it. You probably don't need all of this Stamina Spirit gear with the Netflix and chill playstyle. So you could have like 2/3 Stamina Spirit gear and then like 1/3 like Stamina Strength gear. Not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, so it has a little bit better gearing options, but it's just an insanely safe way to level in classic World of Warcraft, while at the same time being relatively highly entertaining because you can literally like like I watch movies and shows on my iPad. Basically while I'm doing this, or you can watch a movie on your second monitor. You can literally just AFK from the game for like 30 seconds at a time while you're killing these mobs. Awesome, awesome way to go about it. Okay, so those are all 4 of the rotations and why you'd want to use them. The two-handed rotations are, there's only one two-handed rotation, but there is multiple rotations for the one-handed build, and it, of course, varies with all the nuances and the levels and so forth, right? All right, cool. What else is there to talk about? Right, the various builds. Damn. All right, let me pause the video, and I'll actually head on over to Wowhead, because every time I show the talents, people really want me to go into detail as to why I'm putting, like what points to put into where and why. So we might as well go do that really fast. All right, should have it up. Cool. What level is this guy? Level 17. We will do a level 41 Paladin, because that's when you actually have to make your big boy decision. All right, then we'll go on over into talents. All right, cool. All right, so the first build in this sequence is a consecration build. So what you want to do is you want to put 5 points into Divine Intellect. You're going to be wearing Stamina Spirit gear or Stamina Intellect gear, so there's no point in going Divine Strength all that much. Why put points in Intellect? Well, the bonus Intellect, it'll give you like +4 Intellect, like +3, +4 Intellect, depending on your level, whoop de F and do. But the Intellect will allow you to train your weapon skills and your defense skills a little bit faster, which moves the needle a little bit more in your favor than Divine Strength. You then put 5 points of Spiritual Focus, because having healing in combat means that you're just not going to die as often, you're not going to have to run away as often, and that just moves the needle for both your survivability and your leveling speed significantly more in your favor. We stay the hell away from Seal of Righteousness, because Seal of Righteousness only increases the base damage of your SOR spell by 15%. It doesn't do anything for any spell power bonuses behind it, so all the damage bonus we gain from Judgment of the Crusader is completely wasted. You'll notice that Judgment of the Crusader on my level 41 Paladin was literally doubling the amount of damage that the seal does. This 15% only affects the base damage of it, which is really, really bad. On my level 60 Paladin, my Seal of Righteousness hits for like 120 damage, but only like per auto attack at like 1.5 second weapon speed with my seal with my Flurry Axe, which is insane. But the base damage of the max rank seal in the game is 22 at Flurry Axe speeds. So this would increase the 22 damage by 15%. So it would go from like 127 to 130 damage for 5 fucking talent points. Yeah, go fuck off. And then, of course, you put Consecration, your point in Consecration. And at this point, there's almost nothing else in this tree whatsoever for you, unless you go all the way down to Holy Shock. I tried it. The Holy Shock build is perfectly fine. Would not play it on a hardcore server whatsoever. It takes you about 30 seconds to kill a mob. 25, 30 seconds to kill a mob, especially if you factor in travel time from mob to mob to mob. So this thing is almost always available for you to blast it into a mob, and she's fairly mana efficient. So it's not the worst thing in the world to grind with a Holy Shock Paladin, classic World of Warcraft. But dear God, is there a better option? And the better option is to put 5 points into Readout. Improved Devotion Aura is absolutely worthless. They're going to be using Ret Aura anyways. Put 3 points in Precision, probably the best talent while leveling in the entire game. Like, unironically, one of the best DPS talents. Even if you're like a Retribution Paladin and you're like two-handed Ret Paladin is your dream, Precision is basically worth its weight in gold. You put 2 points in Divine Favor, especially in Hardcore, because you want your freedoms lasting 16 seconds on a 20-second cooldown. I talked about this before. Mobs will chase you for 10 seconds at the lower levels. One sec, I gotta pause the video. I just realized I'm cooking something. Okay, we are back. Yeah, I have a pot of chili on the stove that I'm just heating up. It's like 8 a.m. here. I just woke up in the morning. Put it on a low heat, put the lid on. Making this damn video is what it is. Right, so mobs will chase you for like 10 seconds in the lower levels, but they begin to chase you for like 16 seconds at the higher levels. And the leashing is based upon if the mob has basically been standing still and attacking you for like 1 second. That's how they releash. It's more complicated than that, but that's the general rule. So if you have a 10-second freedom and the freedom wears off and then they net you and they start beating on you for a second, congratulations, they got released. So when you have Guardian's Favor, your freedom's on a 16-second cooldown. That's just never going to happen, never going to be a problem. So you can run away super easy. You should be like bubbling, speed potting is your runaway tool. And then when your bubble wears off, you just freedom yourself anyways, right? But what she really does for you is she lets you get out of situations without needing to use your bubble, which I think is really awesome with the bonus freedom. But if you're not on a hardcore server, this thing lets you pull AoE tank much better, having this on a 3-minute cooldown, because AoE farming when you have bubble up and when you have bop up is a completely different ball game than when these two spells are down. Generally speaking, if they're up, you can pull like 4 or 5 mobs, no problem. When it's down, you're restricted to pulling only 3 mobs at a time. So just getting this on a shorter cooldown is worth its weight in gold. The next thing you want to do, I like putting a point in kings, but that's just me. I like giving people kings when they run by, especially if they have all the other paladin buffs, but that's because I'm a team player jackass. You want to put the points into toughness. I already talked about why this is in like a previous video. We don't put any points in shield specialization, even though if you're planning on AoE farming. Okay, so at this point, if you're planning on AoE farming, shield specialization is better. But if I like putting 3 points into improved Hammer of Justice, because I like doing a lot of questing. And it's actually really difficult for you to, what am I trying to say here? It's difficult for you to kill caster mobs, especially if they're healers, when your Hammer of Justice is on cooldown. Having it on a 45-second cooldown is just better for, quality of life than it is not having it on cooldown. You'll notice I haven't put any points in Improved Righteous Fury. It's actually not necessary for you to put 3 out of 3 points in Improved Righteous Fury in order to tank dungeons. Like, believe it or not. Like, the difference between you having 3 points in Righteous Fury and not having 3 points in Righteous Fury is casters might have to wait an extra second or 2 at most before joining in on the party to kill the mobs. Like that's what changes, if that makes any sense. Having this just means that they get to join in the party faster. It's like, okay, what the fuck is the point? I'd rather get shield specialization, 3 points in shield specialization. Yeah, we'll do this. 3 points in shield specialization, 2 points in Hammer of Justice. We'll split the difference, right? And then, of course, the final 41 talent point is put into Blessing of Salvation. And this is the build. And this allows you to basically Netflix and chill and be super unkillable. It allows you to AoE farm when you feel like your what do you call it? Your internet connection is good and solid. Perfect, beautiful, amazing. Old leveling guides, like Cargo's leveling guides, have you coming down to Blessing of Sanctuary first and then picking up Consecration second. But after discovering Stamina Spirit Gear and the ability to front load Consecration into our rotation, that basically changed, right? We come down here, pick up Consecration. It's just the inverse. But every guide that ever has existed in Classic World of Warcraft for a non-Retribution Paladin basically follows this talent build order. From here, of course, you go 5 out of 5 Reckoning, and then you can get one-handed weapon specialization. One-handed weapon specialization is a goofball. She's a weird talent. Same thing with two-handed weapon specialization. Everything I'm about to say about one-handed weapon specialization also applies to two-handed weapon specialization. The two-handed weapon specialization is written weirdly, okay? It technically lies to you. What this thing does is it increases the spirit regeneration. My bad. It increases the amount of damage that your seals do. It increases the white damage of your one-handed weapons. It increases the seal damage of your one-handed weapons. And it increases the judgment of your seals while wearing a one-handed weapon. And the exact same thing happens with two-handed weapon specialization. It does not increase the damage of proc on hit weapon effects. It does not increase the damage of oils. It doesn't increase the damage of your consecration, but it does increase the damage of your judgment, your white damage, and your seal damage by 10%. You follow me on this? Same thing with two-handed weapon specialization, but it's 6% instead. I don't know if you can go all the way down and pick up Holy Shield. I've been told by Jugs of Light that going all the way down to the Prot tree and getting Holy Shield is actually really fucking good. But I haven't got that far in my Stamina Spirit playthroughs yet to really know that. It's probably the case that it's actually super good to go pick up Holy Shield, and then you just try to farm 3 mobs at a time. Not that big of a deal. What I do know about Holy Shield is that she kind of sucks a dick if you don't wait until readout to activate the damn thing, if that makes any sense. So I might end up finding that there's a more interesting rotation. I don't know if I'll use Consecration or if I use Holy Shield. Like, I don't really have any idea. But you'll be attacked a few times when you run into 3 mobs, or, you know, trying to ball them up and pull them together. There's a really good chance readout will proc by the time you get all the mobs together. And the sheer act of readout proccing means you want to activate your Holy Shield. Because if you don't do that, you'll almost always waste all the charges. This is interesting because if you're not on a hardcore server, it's the complete opposite. You want to activate your Holy Shield when your readout is not proccing. So, for example, if I'm pulling 3 mobs, I want to activate my Holy Shield when my readout is up. If I'm pulling 4 or more mobs, I want to activate my Holy Shield when my readout is not up. It's like the inverse of itself, if that makes any sense. Just because there's more mobs to proc it, blah, 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 blah. 2 spell power for each. Okay, now, fuck, that's some Season of Discovery shit. All right, cool. So that's one set. Now, remember I talked about how there's 2 different talent builds for Paladin, and there's 2 different gearings for Paladin. The gearings are Stamina Spirit, Stamina Intellect, and then the talent builds are the one we just saw, and then a Deep Retribution talent build. The Deep Retribution, the talent build we just saw, right? The prop build will be using, I really need to drink some water, we'll be using either Stamina Intellect gear or Stamina Spirit gear, no exceptions. The Retribution build, however, will almost universally be using a Stamina Spirit build. The only reason it would be using a Stamina Intellect build is if for some reason they want to be able to tank, heal, tank and heal dungeons at the same time. The Stamina Spirit build is an incredible dungeon tank, but she can't heal in dungeons. That's the one thing that she cannot do. But the Stamina Intellect build can do everything, right? Including heal dungeons, AoE farm, all that good stuff. The Stamina Spirit build can only AoE farm and tank. She can't really heal dungeons. But yeah, you're going to be using Stamina Spirit with this almost without exception. If you're doing Netflix and chill, that's your battle plan. Feel free to get Improved Might. Otherwise, Improved Might is actually dog shit for 5 talent points. You're 10 times better off with Benediction. Benediction is worth far more to you than the stupid Blessing of Might. Why? Because you're not going to be using Blessing of Might the vast majority of the time. You're going to be using Seal of Wisdom more than anything else. But if you're a command paladin, you know, you might be like, you know, I want might, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. The one thing I keep forgetting to mention, and it's super important, like I cannot stress this enough, is that the #1 rule for you building your paladin in Classic World of Warcraft is to have fun. Okay? The only time this is not true is if it's on a hardcore server. On a hardcore server, the #1 rule is stay the fuck alive, right? Have fun as a distant secondary priority. But on a non-hardcore server, the BIS build for Paladin is for you to not get bored while leveling to 60 and to just try to have a good time, right? So you're going to be like asking me, where do you go in quest? What's your weapon progression? Like, how do I level faster as a Paladin? Blah, 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 blah. It's probably the whole reason why you're looking up a guide. But know that the #1 thing in Classic World of Warcraft is, are you having fun? Are you having a good time? Right? If that's not the case, then you're fucking. It's possible for you to do that in some way that is not following what I'm telling you to do. Just know that is the best thing for you to do, is to ignore the fuck out of me and go have fun. Right? So when I'm questing on a non-hardcore server, I'm leveling. I like to grind a little bit. I like to quest a little bit because the quests will be out of date by the time I've grinded like a level or 2. Then I'll go do a bunch of quests, and when I'm done with the quests, I'll do some dungeons. I like to split my time between doing dungeons and questing and then grinding, right? And when I'm grinding, I have very specific spots and very specific levels I want to go grind in, so I can go kill demons and undead mobs and stuff like that. And then when I'm questing, I have very specific spots I do to go quest. All right, anyways, back to the talents. Benediction moves the needle better. Then deflection is better due to parry haste. The way parry haste works is when an attack is parried, the remaining cooldown on the swing timer of your auto attack is reduced by 40%. Okay? So if I'm using a fast one-handed weapon, the mob, me parrying an attack from an enemy doesn't do fuck all for me. It'll reduce, the swing timer of my 1.5 speed weapon, the remaining swing timer, by 40%. It's nothing. But if we're talking about a deep ret paladin with Seal of Command, which is our next talent point, Seal of Command wants to use a big, slow, two-handed weapon. She's the complete opposite of Seal of Righteousness. Seal of Righteousness wants to use the fastest weapon it can fucking get its hands on. Seal of Command wants to use the slowest weapon it can get its hands on, because Seal of Command is PPM. Seal of Command is basically PPM'd at one additional auto attack per somewhere between 9 to 10 seconds of swing time. So when you're swinging a 3.8 speed two-handed weapon, Seal of Command has somewhere in the vicinity of a 40 to a 44% chance to proc with its PPM. If you're following me on that, maybe it's 8 seconds. I really don't know. But you gain absolutely fucking nothing from your weapon being a slower weapon, because it literally just gives you an extra auto attack every X amount of swing time. Very, very poorly designed seal for anything but super slow weapons. But for super slow weapons, she is pretty much incredible. What else is there? We want to put 1 point in... I don't like it in Improved Judgment, because we're front-loading, right? There's no point in Improved Judgment. Never mind, ignore those talents. I like to start putting points into Conviction. I think Pursuit of Justice is kind of meh, but you can definitely put 2 points in Pursuit of Justice if you want to. If I recall correctly, we start putting points in Pursuit of Justice at... we put 2 points in here, and then we put our points in Pursuit of Justice at this point. And I think I fill out my Conviction. Vindication isn't really worth it. Vindication can be thought of as more spirit on your paladin or better mana regeneration because you're taking less damage. But we're wearing stamina spirit gear, so what's the point? The only advantage to putting points in Vindication would be that we get to wear more strength stamina gear, right? So rather than 70% of our gear being stamina spirit and 20% of it being the remaining 30% being strength stamina, maybe you could do 60-40. But for 3 talent points, what the fuck are we doing? And you can literally see that the next talent point opens up the next rank. So I question what the fuck we're doing. Nope, I'm going to get the extra point of Critical Strike. And then at this point, we have to ask ourselves, at what point are we going into the Holy Tree? Because once we're done with this Ret Tree, we're going back to the Holy Tree. Okay, we're gonna get Consecration, because Consecration with the Stamina Spirit build, it helps us front load our spells even better, right? Run up, hit a mob, judge Seal of Command into the mob, throw a Consecration down, and then reseal command, reseal command, throw a Consecration down, and then just beat them to death with Spirit Regeneration, right? Consecration, when it's max rank and front loaded, is basically worth an extra auto attack. It's literally worth a Seal of Command proc. Sounds stupid, but it's super worth it. And of course, we gain all the benefits that we talked about before. Don't have to run away as much because we have spiritual focus, gain an extra. Basically, it's Seal of Command is an extra auto attack, every 10 seconds of fighting, which is really good. Consecration is basically an extra auto attack worth of damage every 30 seconds, which is how long it takes to kill the mob. It just moves the needle a lot more than other things that you're going to get down here in the tree. So it's at this point we have to go over into the Holy Tree, or it's that because we get improved Retribution Aura, or we put the extra point in Conviction. We put the 2 more points into Pursuit of Justice. We get our 2-handed weapon specialization for all the reasons that we talked about, and then we're done with the Ret Tree. There's absolutely nothing else in this Ret Tree worth a damn that's going to move the needle. And then we're basically making a beeline for consecration. But you can see that we're getting really close there at level 41. So it would be literally level 42, level 43, we'd have consecration. Great, amazing build. The other reason why we're picking up consecration, I'm just remembering, is AoE farming. The 200 rep paladin actually really likes to do AoE farming, but it's only 2 mobs, right? It's not 3 mobs, it's not 4 mobs, it's only 2 mobs. And the reason for this is because you have like a 10% chance to parry and parry hasting. So what you do is you grab 2 mobs, you have consecration, so you get to consecrate. Consecrate becomes incredibly mana efficient if it's hitting like more than 1 mob at a time. Using it to hit 1 mob is kind of sus in classic World of Warcraft. We're only doing it because we're like super thick on the stamina spirit gear. But if you're hitting 2 mobs with it, she becomes incredibly mana efficient. But really why we're pulling 2 mobs and beating the crap out of them is so that we can like drink in the parry haste from the enemy mobs, especially if the mobs are like kitty cats or like fast attacking mobs. We can just, yeah, it's beautiful. You're going to get a noticeable, sizable, terrifying DPS increase from all the parry haste that you get from deflection. Yes, you're taking significantly more damage when you are being punched in the dick by 2 mobs, but you'll notice that we are in plate mail at this point. One of the reasons why we use a 2-handed weapon with the Stamina Spirit build, especially past level 40. Like prior to level 40, I like using a shield on the hardcore servers at least. But past level 40, I like using the 2-hander. It's because of the plate mail gear. When I'm leveling with mail gear and a shield, my armor is about 40%. But plate mail gear with no shield whatsoever is also about 40% armor. If you put a shield on while you're leveling, it jumps up to 50% armor. You got the 40% armor from your plate mail gear. You're in pure stamina spirit gear. If you're going to do this AoE crap, I highly suggest you wear pure stamina spirit gear. The pure stamina spirit gear will help you with the healing, right? You can also do things, yeah, you can also do things like judge light. I wouldn't judge light. What the hell am I talking about? But you just pull 2 mobs and you bathe in the DPS increase of all the parry hasting that you're getting, on top of the fact that you have consecration, you know, blah, 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 blah. As you can see, if I rip the talent points out of here, yeah, let's go back here. We can easily get to the consecration like even faster. So if I go back to level 41, we'll put a talent point there, we'll put 2 talent points here. Yeah, you can see that we're getting to the consecration even faster. This is level 41, right? Level 41, I've had consecration for a while now. I've been enjoying the parry haste. I wouldn't advise doing this because you don't have the plate mail gear. Go test it. Go tell me how it feels. Pull 2 mobs at a time. Use a slow 2-handed weapon. Use your consecrations. Use your stamina spirit gear. Bathe in the parry haste. I haven't tried this personally because, again, I haven't gotten past level 41 on my stamina spirit builds. But everyone who's gone past level 41 with stamina spirit builds has told me that it's amazing, and math, everything in my brain says it's still going to be effing awesome going into the future. But try some AoEing as a deep rep paladin. Okay. Once you get this deep into the holy tree, there isn't much else in here that's really going to move the needle for you. There also isn't all that much here that's going to move the needle for you. You could try to go deeper into the precision, the prot tree to pick up precision. That's not really going to help you all that much. I really need to take a drink of water here. Starting to phlegm up like crazy. Early in the morning, talking. Probably not that good. All right. I would just keep going down the holy tree, personally. Yeah. Healing Light is actually a really good talent for your mana efficiency, like unironically. Getting Vindication's not the worst thing in the world if you're planning on pulling 2 mobs. What else do we have here? Yeah, there really isn't all that much for you going deeper. You're kind of just stuck once you get Consecration. 3 out of 3 Healing Light is a low-key, like, super powerful talent in Classic World of Warcraft. It's worth something stupid, like plus 300 healing on your Paladin. Like, each point I put into this talent is worth, like, plus 100 healing on my Paladin, like, unironically. And if you're planning on pulling 2 mobs and bathing in the parry haste and using Consecration, having the increased mana efficiency from Healing Light is actually really, really good. But Vindication, of course, is also going to give you that increased mana efficiency. And there really isn't all that much here that's moving the needle for you. You could start putting your points in Vengeance. Not the worst idea in the world. But yeah, there's just not much is doing. You're not really gaining all that much in the grand scheme of things from anything here. Literally just season to taste. I have no idea what to do with your talent points after this. You can keep put 3 talent points here. Go down into Divine Light. Yeah, basically, I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know. Try to pick up Divine Favor for the free crit heal. But basically, all these leveling guides end at level 52. And the reason why they end at level 52 is because you're either going into Eastern or Western Plaguelands and you're in an ocean of undead to kill, like, you know, mobs that you can have. You can use exorcism on, so single target farming becomes amazing. Or really what you're doing is you're just living in Blackrock Depths until level 60, because that has all your level 60 gear anyways. Blackrock Depths, Blackrock Depths, Blackrock Depths. And at that point, if you're going into Blackrock Depths, you're going to want to respec out of this Retribution nonsense and get into either the healing stuff, or you have the Stamina Spirit gear, so you probably are tanking Blackrock Depths, so you're going to want to use the other talent build. Alright, we cool with that? Sweet. So we're done with that. Get the hell out of here. Let's get back into Classic World of Warcraft, and I'll talk about where I go to level and why. Yeah, hour-long video. So last time this video was like an hour and 7 minutes, but it didn't include any of the talent talk or anything like that. And I was much less concise about the little nuances for the Paladin. So, yeah, you have to talk about, you know, why we're not judging Seal of Righteousness into the target. And, well, it's technically a waste of mana. There's no point to it whatsoever. Other weird things like that. So we'll talk about weapon, where the hell I go and why. Where the hell's my shield? Thank you very much. But yeah, we can showcase Malistar's, the Seal of Righteousness here really fast. Just with the max rank here. Why not, right? Okay, so here's my Seal of Righteousness when I don't judge Crusader. Let's take off the ret aura. You can see it's like, you know, 55 damage. Judge this massive Seal of the Crusader into the damn thing. I wasn't using the max rank there. Goes up to 74 damage. Pop a DPS trinket, goes up to like 115 damage. If I had improved Seal of Righteousness, it would increase this damage by 3. It's actually sad. Like, would totally not recommend it. The 30s are the Lifesteal procs. Lifesteal is times 2 proc with Seal of Righteousness. What the fuck are you going red for, bro? What is that shit? Yeah, procs every 6.66 seconds of swing time. Times 2 with Seal of Righteousness. Good stuff. But we're here to look at the map. Thank you very much. Cool. So, I like to, the first weapon I like to buy that I can remember is a Defias Rapier off of the auction house. It's a 1.6 weapon speed at level 11, and I'll use that weapon all the way until level 18. Even though the damage gets out of date pretty quickly, it's still the fastest one-handed weapon you get your hands on. And the training of your Seal of the Crusader and your Seal of Righteousness lines up perfectly with it. I like to go into Duskwood, kill the undead mobs in Duskwood, and then quest in Duskwood until I'm like level 17, 16, 17, somewhere around there. Then I like to come out here and I like to grind on the crabs on the beach. It super helps with my cooking, and it's just super brain dead. I'll grind on the crabs until like level 20. At level 18 to 20, I'm changing over to a two-handed weapon. I'm either using a cheap polearm off of the auction house, level 20 polearm off the auction house. They're pretty quick. Two-handed weapons, or I'm getting my hands on a cheap Searing Blade, level 18 Searing Blade, you know, 2.5 weapon speed, two-hander, proc on hit. Absolutely amazing. I will use that two-handed weapon until this is non-hardcore, but you can also do this in hardcore. I'll use that two-handed weapon until I replace it with another two-handed weapon, such as a combat claymore, or there's another one at like level 24, I think. That's a pretty fast two-handed weapon. You can get the fast two-handed weapons pretty cheap off the auction house, so that's why they end up getting used. I'll start grinding in Duskwood on the undead mobs. So I'll start killing the mobs at the graveyard here, which I think are like level 22, like level 23, level 24, somewhere around there. Then I'll migrate on over to Raven Hill, and I'll kill the mobs down here, like level 24, level 25-ish. And then I'll start working on the ghouls, which can range like level 25 to like level 29-ish in this area. By the time I'm like level 29, or level 28, level 29, I got my combat claymore. I'm getting the hell out of there. I'm going into Kalmandor. I'm going to Ashenvale, and I'm heading out here into this area. There's a bunch of demons to kill out here. Super great place to Netflix and chill. I'll stay here until level 33. And I'll stay here until level 33 because there's a massive power spike in the mobs at level 31. And at level 33, I get my Knightly Longsword. So literally just stay here and I'll farm the mobs until level 33. And then they're undead. They're demons, so you can exorcism them. It's beautiful. Then I head on over to Desolace, and I didn't know about this at the time. I made this Paladin 6 years ago, so this place is unexplored. But there's a bunch of demons to farm out here, and I'll farm these demons. Level 30... The level 30, I want to say 2 to 35 or something out here, or level 31 to 33, maybe 31 to 33. But I'll stay here until level 35, level 36. Level 35. I'll stay here until level 35. At this point, my questing is super out of date. So at this point, I'll head back on over to the Eastern Kingdoms. And I'll do all my out-of-date quests in Stranglethorn Vale, which is what my actual hardcore paladin is on right now. I'll do all the quests out here. Once I'm done with all the quests that I can do out there, I will head on over to the Shimmering Flats. We got to head on over to the Shimmering Flats at some point. Here's the Shimmering Flats. Head on over to the Shimmering Flats, do all the quests in the Shimmering Flats. Of course, I will pick up the flight path in Ternaris. This is really good timing because you're like level 37, 38, somewhere around there. And at level 36, that's when you can get your 300 bandaging at Theramore, like first aid at Theramore. You can get your 300 cooking in Gadgetzan here, no problem. Just remember to bring your damn Alterac Swiss. Definitely look up that guide before you do it, otherwise you'll have another flight back. You got to bring like 20 Alterac Swiss or something stupid like that. To this stupid jackass. But yeah, at that point, once I'm done with the Shimmering Flats quest, and I'm done, I've got the Gadgetzan flight path. I'm usually back into Stranglethorn Vale to finish off the quest there. It doesn't take very long from this point to be basically level 41. And once you're level 41, you no longer need to be told where to go and what to do. You don't need... Oh, shit. I forgot about the grinding spot to get to level 41. Yeah, so once I'm done with the Shimmering Flats quest, and I'm round about level 38, which is where I'm at on my hardcore paladin right now, I head back to Desolace, okay? And I come down here to the south. There's a bunch of really fast attacking undead mobs to kill down here. There's also the... Ectoplasm quest that will summon like level 39 undead centaurs. I don't advise grinding on those centaurs personally unless you're with a group. If you're with a group, then grinding on the centaurs is absolutely amazing. You put down the ectoplasm, and then you walk a little bit away from where the centaurs are, and you can just get to pull the centaurs into, like, you and your buddy can just grind on the centaurs to your heart's content. Yeah, the quest is repeatable. You just put it down again. A bunch of centaurs will start slowly, undead centaurs will start slowly walking towards you. They're not red, they're yellow mobs, but if you, you can just pull them at a distance, get them on top of you. They're a little bit over-tuned for the level, meaning they got, like, plus 10% more HP, and they do, like, plus 10% more damage than a 39 mob should. They also, I think, put like a stupid curse on you that's kind of fucking annoying. That might be the reason why they're overtuned. But at this level 37 undead, fast attacking mobs does not get any better for grinding. And then the centaurs are there for, like, endless waves of AoE farming if that's what you and your buddy want to do. Go down there, grind those mobs until level 41. At level 41, of course, you have to make your decision: stamina, spirit gear, stamina, intellect gear, AoE farming, or are we doing some ret stuff? What the hell else is there to say? Past level 41, you no longer need to be told where to go and what to do to grind mobs. You can literally go anywhere you want to and grind on just about anything. Because again, you're pulling like 3 mobs at a time and burning them down, 4 mobs at a time and burning them down. It's 2 mobs at a time. Turn 2 mobs at a time, burning them down. 1 mob at a time, Netflix and chill. You literally don't care. The only thing you care about is the mob a runner or not. You do not want to grind on mobs who are runners. If they're running away from you, that is really, really bad. So stay the hell away from that. You do not want to Netflix and chill grind, or even AoE grind for that matter, in an area that where the mobs are, where there's pats or the mobs are quote unquote padding. So this area is amazing to grind in. These ogres you can kill, as an example, right? Because these mobs are not walking around in huge circles. They don't have a huge circular padding, we technically call it. There's no patrols coming through the area. When you are engaging these mobs, there's going to be no uninvited guests coming to the party when you're fighting them. So that's basically what you want out of a grind area. Is I want mobs who are not going to run away in terror from me. I want no patrols, and I want them not to be padding around in wide circles. That is the vast majority of mobs in Classic World of Warcraft. But if that's not the mobs in World of Warcraft, like Silithis, they're padding all over the place. All the fucking mobs are padding all over the place. Massive wide circles. You can't really do that in Silithis. In Anguro Crater, the raptors are not padding all over the place, but then all the other mobs are padding all over the place. So you want to avoid the mobs who are padding all over the place and basically just grind on the damn raptors if that is your thing. Hopefully you get the idea. Yeah, that's pretty much. But there's no real point in talking about where the hell to go and what undead mobs to grind on once you're level 41, because it's not about exorcism anymore. Because you definitely have consecration, no matter what paladin we're talking about here. And you do not give a flying fuck. You're not using exorcism anymore. You're pulling in multiple mobs and you're grinding them into pulp. The only time I would do any kind of undead grinding, I can pause the video and try to find it really fast here, would be the Netflix and chill. Let me pause the video here. All right, we are back. So, always hard for me to find. Takes me quite a while. The only reason I would go out to these places to farm undead... Come on, bro. There we go. We want this thing. The only reason I would go out to like Anjara and farm the ghosts out in Ashara, or I would go kill the demons in like Fellwood. That's like level 52, though. You might be living in Blackrock Depths at that point. Or in Ajara and kill the demons or whatever the hell, right? The only reason why I'd go anywhere near Ajara... I guess everything isn't in Jara where I got this crap, is if I was doing Netflix and chill. Exorcism is amazing for Netflix and chill, but it's not necessary because you have consecration. Just know that the exorcism is better. But that's the only reason I would go out to these demon farming areas. Yeah, literally, once you're level 41, you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want. You can go anywhere you want. You can do just about any dungeon you want. You can farm just about any mobs that you want. Life is your oyster at that point. You don't really need to be told what to do. Weapon progression, however, is a little interesting. We'll talk about that really fast. I'll log out here. I'll go look at the auction house. I'll talk about weapon progression. I talked about how we have the Knightly Longsword when we get level 33. I usually like to farm with the Knightly Longsword until she starts getting out of date. You're gonna really feel her being starting to get out of date by the time you're level 38. But by the time you're level 37, 38, you're farming undead mobs in Southern Desolace. They're really fast attacking. So all the reflect damage with using the shield is super efficient on them. We want to get on the hardcore server and go look at an active... Let's actually get on Night Slayer and go look at an active auction house here really fast. We're in Darkshore. You're in Elwyn Forest. Okay. Where are you in Elwyn Forest, may I ask? You're not in Goldshire? Please tell me you're in Goldshire. Okay, cool. We'll head on up here really quick while I'm talking. Not that big of a deal. Weapon progression. Right. So I like using my Knightly Longsword till I'm about level 39. And at level 39, that's when you get access to some really good two-handers off the auction house. That's when you get access to your the two-handed weapon that Test Pally was using. 2.8 weapon speed, chance to send a shadow bolt into the target. Absolutely awesome two-handed weapon for Seal of Righteousness Paladin. As a non-Seal of Righteousness Paladin, as a Seal of Command Paladin, you want to use the Hellbore Cleaver, or the Hellbore weapon. It's a two-handed weapon you get at level 36, but it's got like plus 66 attack power to fighting undead, and you just get the battle plan there. There we go. The battle plan there is just to head on out to Desolace earlier than normal, because they're level 38 to level 37 mobs. So you just head on out there at like level 37, level 36, somewhere around there, and just, suffer the consequences. But that you can usually pick up that slow two-handed weapon off the auction house super cheap. The problem with being a deep rep paladin is getting your hands on the slow two-handed weapons can be a bit of a pain in the ass, or a bit expensive, one of the two. But the fast two-handers are almost always super cheap off the auction house by comparison. There's also an epic version of that level 39 two-handed weapon. I think it's 2.9 speed, but it's literally the exact same weapon, and it makes me laugh. It's also level 39. From there, it's literally just whatever the hell is on the auction house and is cheap. So the Netflix and chill build that I'm going to be using on hardcore just wants an up-to-date blue weapon that is reasonably fast. Those can be cheap or expensive on the auction house. I just, generally gravitate to whatever is cheaper. The two-handed weapons past level 39 are all the fast ones are always cheap off the auction house, and the slow ones are always super expensive. So if I scroll down here really fast, Destiny is almost always really cheap. But that's at level 52, 52, and you're going to be living in Blackrock Depths at that point. But if you don't, hey, Destiny is actually pretty awesome at a 2.6 weapon speed. Super cheap, obviously, even though it's a legendary weapon. Shadow Blade, stay the hell away from that. Where the hell is my Icebreaker? Icebreaker, okay, let's look at that. Yeah, 200 weapon, 2.3 weapon speed. 26 gold. It's so fast at 2.3 weapon speed. Nobody wants this piece of shit. Yeah, pick that up. Like, yeah, I'm definitely going to be leveling with that. Jesus Christ, look at this. This thing is awesome. Chance on hit, hurls a fiery bolt. Could not ask for a better leveling weapon than the Icebreaker. Absolutely amazing. I'll probably be picking that up on hardcore. Like, not even kidding you. What the fuck? Beautiful. Blood Razor looks too expensive. Kang the Decapitator is too expensive. Flurry Axe are pretty cheap on hardcore, believe it or not. They're like sub 200 gold, but they're going to be super expensive on this server, obviously. Gut Ripper, one-handed weapon. Yeah, too expensive. Stay away from Gut Ripper, even though it's an ideal Netflix and chill weapon. Wouldn't even go near that. Here's the Nightblade. Here's the epic one I was talking about. 8 fucking gold for a Nightblade at level 39. Think about how fucking cheap that is. What the balls. It's the exact same version of the other weapon we're looking at. Exact same weapon speed. Exact same proc on the hit. It's just doing more DPS, right? Like, what the fuck are we even talking about here? Argent Custodian. She's a pretty cheap one-handed weapon. Dazzling Longsword's too expensive. Firing War Axes are usually pretty cheap. Yeah, they're too slow at level 36. But yeah, let's look at the blue weapons here really fast. Doombringer, why are you so cheap? Super fast, two-handed weapon, level 55. That's why it's cheap. Needler. Okay, let's get in below sub 451 here. Bone Snapper, super cheap. Why? It's a really slow one-handed weapon. That's an axe. That's going to be really cheap as well. Judge's Cudgel. Not bad. Not good either. Warmonger's a piece of shit, if I recall correctly. This is super cheap. Why? What the fuck? This is amazing. Yeah, get this. What the balls? 3.1 is not bad. Not bad at all. What the? And it's got plenty of strength. What the fuck? Yeah, get this. That's a good weapon. Bleed of the Titans is really good, even though she's kind of slow. I mean, yeah, kind of slow for a two-handed weapon. Again, super cheap. Look at this. Look. Super cheap. Yeah, so if you're doing Seal of Command, you're probably going to want to use like the 3.2 speed weapons, somewhere around there. The Executioner's Cleaver is really good, 3.8, but, you know, super expensive. Like, look at the difference, man. Like, what the fuck? The pole arms are also really good. But let's... Level 42, Shadow Vengeance. That's really cheap. One-hander. Okay, interesting. Muggerhurt is amazing. You need this for PvP. This is a Netflix and chill weapon, to be sure. The fact that it's so cheap on a PvP server just tells me nobody knows that everybody needs this weapon for PvP. This slow has a 5% chance to proc on hit. Well, ×2 proc with Seal of Righteousness. This is the only slow in the game that druids cannot shapeshift out of. So, absolutely necessary for PvP for you to have a Muggerhurt. Super fast, one-handed speed weapon. Absolutely amazing. But it's super cheap because people are leveling right now. Damn it. Can we get down to 39? Like, why the fuck is this taking forever? Witchblade. There we go. Remember the epic weapon that was 2.8 weapon speed and it sends a Shadow Bolt on hit at level 39? Yeah, this is the blue version of it. And you can see that the Destiny was like 6 gold. And this thing is, literally if I scroll up, the Destiny was like 6 gold. And this thing is like dirt cheap because it's in competition with that. But let's go find our Hellbore. Speed Steel Rapier is awesome for Netflix and chill, but she's always insanely expensive on the auction house. This is actually not bad at 10 gold, but I don't think it's worth it. I'd save my gold for other things. Like, look at this thing, right? Two-handed weapon, 3.2 weapon speed, strength, 3 gold for that at level 37. Is it better than a Hellbore Cleaver? Like, maybe it is. We'll scroll down and we'll check out the Hellbore Cleaver here really fast. Yeah, 3 gold for the Hellbore Cleaver. Oh, shit, the Hellbore Cleaver. I thought it was a 3.8 speed weapon. All right, then. Stay the hell away from the Hellbore Cleaver. My bad. Pick up something else. Slower, obviously. If you have to use a polearm, so be it. It's not that big of a deal, even if you're human. Actually, it is a big deal. I'm lying to you. Yeah. Yeah, Sword of the Magistrate's really good. For 7 gold, for 6 gold, Sword of the Magistrate's at level 36. That's actually really good. So basically, if you're a Seal Command Paladin, it's looking like you might have to live with the 3.2, 3.3 speed weapons. But that's fine. You're not missing out all that much with Seal Command. In fact, it's probably helping you kill the mobs faster rather than slower. But you're going to want to stay the hell away from things like, super fast two-handed weapons. You're not going to want a Witch Fury. Yeah, just live off of these super cheap 3.2 speed weapons that apparently nobody wants for some reason. Muggerhurt, no. Executioner's Cleaver was way too expensive. The Bone Chewer, I think, was, too fast. Yeah. Just use whatever cheap is off the auction house. Wear Stamina Spirit Gear. Follow the talent points. What the hell are we even doing here? Okay, well, I'm going to end the video here and Deus Vult, because my voice is starting to go. Have I covered everything? I believe I have. All right, anyways, I'm in the video here and Deus Vult.